Hi everyone, I am Morgana Braid, High Priestess of Maiden Circle Coven and Academy, and if you'd like to learn more about Maiden Circle, you can check out all the links in the description. This is a pick a card reading for 2020, and I decided this time to do I started out trying to do what's coming for me in love for 2020, but then I realized that it ended up kind of being more like your love story, just the way I was setting up the spread when I was writing it in my notebook. So what is your love story for 2020? This is a pick a card reading. It is a timeless reading, so you can listen to this now, you can listen to this all the way in October and just see if it lines up for you. There's no telling when these things will actually come through, but it's for the year 2020, so that is when you should be expecting these stories. Of course, this is a general reading, so it won't resonate with everyone, and I do apologize that you guys have to see my pants, because this angle, the way I have my tripod, it just doesn't get any shorter than where it is now, so this is as far as it goes. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So take a nice deep breath. And so we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. And I would like to say that this is going to be a big shift for everyone, because we are moving not only into a new year and a new month, but we are moving into a new decade. And that decades are like these packets of time where something crazy can happen, and it is the main way we understand time. So we always talk about the 80s or the 90s, how no one wants to go back to the 50s unless they're, that kind of person. So decades are periods where the entire world is transforming, and I think we've seen our world transform in the last decade, or the last 2 decades even, because I do feel like when 2000 hit to 2020, that has all been its own package, right? The early 2000s and now, it's all been this kind of series of crazy events. So we're moving into a big shift, so I'm not going to be surprised if I see some big things in your love readings. Alright, I'm done rambling. Go ahead and pick your card. Again, we have stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. I'm going to start with stack 1. Hi, stack 1. So let's get started with your love story. What is your love story? So we started with asking what your overall energy for 2020 will be. So this is the overall guiding energy for the year 2020 concerning love. And you have, wow, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune represents luck, changing, fortune, good things happening for you. It also is a reminder that you're in control of your destiny. So that may be something that's coming into play. You may be the kind of person who thinks about destiny or fantasizes about the one. And it's kind of saying yes, there may be a one for you, but you're in control of whether you actually connect with that person. Okay, so then we asked what your direct energy is, and you have Legacy of Light. Oh, wow. Okay, so not only are you being guided towards this love by your ancestors, by your historic, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be blood ancestors. It could be essentially spiritual ancestors, people who, the person you're meant to love. It could be their great-grandfather, their great-grandmother, their ancestors. It could be people who if you were adopted. It doesn't have to be blood relative ancestors. So take that as you wish. But with Legacy of Light, it does speak to basically saying that you are going to be also leaving behind a legacy of light. So again, it's like this generational thing. And I'm also feeling for some of you, this is multiple lifetimes. So it's you as your own ancestor, essentially. Your past selves are trying to guide you towards this lucky, beautiful love, okay? So let's see what the general love story is. So we have beginning, the girl, feminine energy, youthful, and thoughtfulness. So I'm using the Soul Healing Oracle, which is an oracle that I have coming soon. You can also find a downloadable version on my Etsy channel. So you have the girl, shed your skin, releasing old habits, be true to yourself, no more masks. And end, soul mysteries. Trust, acceptance, universal mysteries. Oh, acceptance of universal mysteries and occult. Sorry, guys. So with the girl, this is beginning, middle, and end. So with the girl in the beginning, we have this youthful, girlish energy. So I do feel like a lot of you watching may be the feminine types. You may be very youthful, and that doesn't mean you're young necessarily, but you could be just the youthful kind of person. There is the chance that you just were kind of very impulsive in the past or in the beginning when you guys meet each other. There's just this joyful, youthful energy. If you are not a feminine person, the person who's coming to you is joyful and youthful and feminine. It's this thoughtfulness. So, yeah, I feel like just when you meet each other, there's going to be this joy, this feeling of dancing, this feeling of lightness, and you're going to be thinking about each other a lot. And then in the middle, you're going to realize that, you don't have to pretend with them. You can be yourself. You can be as true to yourself as you possibly can, as you want to be. You can be open. It's a shedding mask, no more masks. So let go of pretending, and it's like they're gonna let you do that. It's not even going to be something that you have to like really work on, although I would recommend everyone work on being true to themselves and letting go of bad habits, letting go of any habits that no longer serve them. But it's not, in this case, it's going to be that they're allowing you to do that. They're opening up to you. Again, they're bringing that light into your life just as much as you're allowing it and creating it yourself. And towards the end, trust. I'm really getting trust, acceptance of universal mystery. So you're going to realize that spiritually you guys are divinely connected, and you're going to trust that, and it's going to be this really beautiful connection, I feel. So let's see what your emotional journey will be over 2020. So we have the Six of Coins, the Wand, the Knave of Wand, and the Ace of Cups. Oh, nice. Okay. So with the Six of Coins, we have this energy of a person who is kind of spread a little bit thin, or trying to control everything even. Like, what I'm getting here, because I'm noticing, I don't know if I've noticed this before, but she's basically a cat. She's wearing cat ears, she's got this cute little tail, and then she's like holding all these mice, right? So I'm feeling that this is someone who, how do I explain? She's someone who needed to control a situation very tightly, but maybe didn't have their priorities in the right place, right? And so towards the middle of your journey, your emotional journey, I do think you start to kind of loosen up and start to get more nature in your life, like start to become more natural, become more true to you, start to like brighten up through all this stuff. I feel like maybe you or the person you are with, well, this is your emotional journey, so I feel like you, in your emotional journey, started off as someone who was maybe giving a lot to everyone, or giving a lot to the idea of love, or giving a lot to your job and not focusing on love, right? So the priorities weren't really where they needed to be for you to start the healing, but you do move into a place of growth, of healing, of blossoming. I'm getting a lot of like blossoming through the darkness energy, just because of this imagery. And with the Page of Wands, it typically speaks to new beginnings, new growth, a new message of something. And then we have the Ace of Cups. So it's an abundance of love. That is how like your emotional journey ends. It's you realizing. So if you look at these two images kind of side by side, it's like everything that she's holding on to is spreading out. It's moving away from her. And then by the end, all that love comes back, and it's not something like small and insignificant. Like to a cat, mice are prey, mice are smaller, they're weak, but then it's just you in the end. It's aspects of yourself. So I think this love that's coming to you in 2020 is going to help you blossom as a person and help you like become more connected to who you are, to your true self. And you're going to realize that this love has come from beyond. This is more than, and actually when I was shuffling the cards, another card had jumped out face up, and I didn't want to spoil it for myself, so I put it back in the deck. But it was heaven sent. So I do feel like this is a love that's coming to you from beyond, from heaven, from your ancestors, from your angels, to help you become more you, to help you grow more into yourself. And it could be, that this isn't necessarily a romantic thing. It could be that this is just like a soul growth for you, right? That's a possibility. But I do feel either way, whether you find yourself connected to someone, and I do feel if you do, it's going to be very joyful, very light, and they are going to help you on this path. But you are being led towards a very healthy, bountiful, beautiful love of yourself, and like acceptance of who you are, and like there's going to be so much light in your life in 2020, in your love life, and I find that to be just lovely. So there you go, pile number 1. I do hope that this was enjoyable, that you liked this reading. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next year or in your 2020 forecast. Thank you again, and remember always that I love you. Bye. Hi, pile 2. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. So let's see what's coming for you in love in 2020. So I started with asking what your overall energy was for 2020, and you got the Hanged Man. So some of you may be waiting for something. You may be like, either you're waiting or you're hesitating to take the leap of towards something. But I do feel like most of you are just waiting. So you may be waiting for like a marriage. You may be waiting for a message to come in. You guys actually got 2 cards for your direct message. So let's see what your direct message is for 2020. So you guys got After the Storm and Spirals of Manifestation. Okay, so you may have had to go through you may have not had the best love life over the last 12 months, over this last year. You may have had some struggles. Part of that may be the way you're thinking. So there may be a need for you to really start to manifest your love life that you want and not think so much about what you don't want. So if you find yourself thinking a lot about how the guys you've liked or the girls you've dated have been a certain way, like how they haven't necessarily fit your view of what a good partner should be, if that's what you're focusing on, it's actually what you're going to end up getting, okay? So like if you're the kind of person who's just like, men are trash, then you're going to keep getting trash men, unfortunately. So really, really be careful of how you're speaking to yourself in the new year, because if you're waiting for some change to happen and you have gone through something that wasn't very pleasant, then really shift the way you've been thinking about it. So then I asked what your general love story is, beginning, middle, and end. What is your general love story? Beginning, soul healing. Middle, release it from your soul. And end, the soul needs solitude. So you guys have a very strong message from your soul. So you may even be dealing with a soulmate. In the coming year, in 2020, you may be dealing with a spiritual connection of some sort, a soulmate connection of some sort. So when you start, you may even feel that you've been healing yourself. So in the beginning, this is probably a healing for you. FYI, this is the Soul Healing Oracle deck that is coming to my Etsy shop, and the art will be updated soon in the next year, so that's exciting. But this is my own deck, and I thought I'd give it a try on this channel. So yeah, I do feel in the beginning, you're going to realize you're going to be healing on your own. You're going to be on this healing journey when you meet the person. And there's something that you're going to need to let go. It could be like towards the middle of this relationship or this love that you are going to be releasing the feeling of being trapped. Some of you may be getting divorced. Some of you, unfortunately, it could be fortunate. It could be something that you need. You may be in the beginning learning to heal yourself, and the person who came in at the time that was the storm took advantage of that healing. And so this is saying in the middle, you're going to be able to let go of that. You're going to be able to release those burdens, release the guilt that you may have felt in that relationship. You're going to feel a lot more free in the middle of this relationship journey, in the middle of this love journey, I should say. because it doesn't have to be relationships. This is love. Love can come in so many different shapes and forms. It could come from internally, it can come from family, it can come from friends, and it can be romantic. So take this however it actually resonates for you. But whatever it is, in the middle of that journey, you will be letting it go and spending some time alone by the end. You're going to be stepping away. For some of you, I do see there's a divorce coming. In 2020, there's the end. You are healing. This is for the betterment for you. So you are healing yourselves, healing spiritually, and you realize that something's no longer serving you. The relationship you've had, the love or the way you've been viewing love has not been serving you. And so you're going to be letting that go so that you can find relief, so that you can find comfort and healing and relief. And then you are going to need to take some time to separate, to step away. And that's how your journey ends. So let's see what your emotional journey is for 2020. You have the Lovers, right? The King of Cups. Yes. So for many of you, I do see a divorce or separation coming. And I don't know if that's necessary. And I think you've been thinking about it for a while, and that's why you got the Hanging Man, because you've been kind of hesitating taking those steps. Maybe it's because you're not believing that you deserve something better, or you're not believing that you can move out of this situation, or that it's going to be easy for you. But we have the Lover, so in the beginning of your emotional journey, it is very loving, or at the very least, it's like you feel wrapped up in something or someone. You feel wrapped up in this love. It is surrounding you, but there's something that's just not quite connecting, because this is a snake. So it's something that's just not quite, like, fulfilling you in this situation. And then you, towards the middle, will find that you're having to kind of fight emotionally to kind of make decisions and like brave the storm of love, essentially. Like you're braving some sort of storm of love. It was not necessarily the most fun, but towards the end you do cut yourself away from that. This card does say to be careful of your words as well, to really be careful that you are not using cutting words to hurt someone. And especially it's important to be aware of your words when you have spirals of manifestation, because this means that you can manifest whatever it is you're speaking. So if you want to be separated, then speak that into the world. But if you want to heal this connection, then that is what you need to be aware of, because right now, towards the end, it's like your words are leading you towards cutting this connection or separating yourself from the situation. So that is what I'm getting for you, pile number 2. I do wish this was something a lot more positive. I don't really love the idea that you're moving towards separation, but I want to believe that this is for the best for you, because you start off with healing. You start off with some soulful healing, taking care of yourself, growing internally, and that is what leads you to releasing something. So that is positive. That means you realized something wasn't right for you. You realized it was wrong, and you stepped away to take care of yourself again. Okay, so I don't feel like this is going to, I feel like for you, those of you who are separating, this is something that you do need. This is not something to be sad or upset about. There is no tower energy. I don't feel like this is like something that's going to really shake you up. This is something that you are in the lead of. Like you are the one leading it. You have a 1 here and a 1 here and a 1 here. That means you're taking this step. You are the one driving the car. You are starting a new beginning. And that new beginning means taking yourself away from the situation or the person that made you have to feel like you were going through a storm. Okay? So that is your reading number 2. Thank you again so much for being here. I will see you next year, and I'll also see you in your 2020 forecast video, which is coming out later this week, I believe. Thank you, and please remember always, always, always that I love you. Bye. Hi, pal number 3. I hope you've had a lovely year so far. This is your reading. Let's see what's happening, what your love story is for 2020, okay? So I started with asking what your overall love energy was for 2020. And you have the Hierophant. Okay, so the lover that you find may be older. They may be an older male, but gender is it's not important in this as much. You will know. But they may be older than you, or there may be an age difference where you're older, but I do feel like there's older energy. They may be someone who teaches you, who makes you feel like you're learning something new, okay? So let's see what your direct energy is, your direct message for 2020 in love. Inspiration, yeah. So there's someone who inspires you. There's someone who helps you feel like they help you see things in a different way, I'm feeling. Okay? So then I asked what your love story was, your general love story, beginning, middle, and end. So we have beginning, soul messages, middle, dark night of the soul, and end. Take back your power. Oh, okay. So the Hierophant comes with a message of someone who may be a teacher, but it also says to beware of someone who may take advantage of your need to learn, who may guide you astray, right? So then we have soul message, and I'll explain why I'm saying that. We have soul messages. So you received a message. It says messages from your ancestors, higher knowing, messages from the divine, right? So this is messages coming into you, like downloads that you were getting. In the beginning of your love story, you were getting downloads, you were getting clues that you were supposed to go in a certain direction, you were supposed to love a certain person, right? And then there, in the middle of the love story, we have loss, heartache, and despair. So maybe something happened, maybe there was a loss, maybe the person that you thought you were meant to be with, or the person you fell in love with, turned out not to be as truthful as they seemed to be. Maybe they just treated you unkindly. Maybe maybe you got messages that led you towards someone who looked like the right person, but you misinterpreted, right? So in any case, in the middle, you ended up with a heartache. You ended up losing something, maybe losing a part of yourself, because then we have take back your power, which says inner strength, leadership, and confidence. So towards the end of this situation, you are going to find that you are more confident, you are more powerful. The Hierophant, I also sometimes feel this energy of like giving up your power. So like he's almost like a preacher or the Pope or something. And I do know, I don't want to like step on anyone's toes, but I do know that there are many situations where people of a certain mindset will give all of their power to their minister, to all of their power to the person who is telling them what to do and who to be. And I feel like that may have happened to some of you, or some of you may have just been kind of like manipulated or beat down, or like taught something that wasn't really right for you, and that led you to this loss because maybe you were misinterpreting the messages that were being sent to you. But I think you are moving into a new phase of inspiration, so you will have some new ideas, and by the end of the situation you will have more strength. You will be a leader of your own, you will take care of yourself, you will handle your own situation. So we have 6 6 6 2 4 2 2 6. So some of you, I think this may be a domestic situation, like someone you've lived with who you thought maybe was compatible, but they kind of like used their hold on you to kind of beat you down. For some of you, that's not for all of you, but I do think, like I said, and I get a lot of this I'm getting because you end up with take back your power. So I feel like there was a loss of power at some point. There was a loss of balance, a loss of confidence. And in the middle, obviously, there was a loss. So I do feel like now you're taking back control over this influence that was in your life, okay? So let's see what your actual emotional journey is in 2020. The Hermit, someone who felt very lonely. The 5 of Coins, someone who felt that they were going to lose everything. And the Sun. So I don't think the journey in 2020 is going to be necessarily easy for you, because we do have the Hermit, which is like a very lonely energy, but it's the energy of someone who is learning, someone who has to take a path step by step to understand themselves and their own situation. And then you moved into this kind of poverty mindset, unfortunately. So maybe, like I said, there was a fear of loss. There was a loss that happened. These two kind of correspond almost exactly. So you did lose something, unfortunately, through this journey. And I say did as if it's past, but this is, like I said, for 2020. So you will be going through this journey in 2020. And there will be the loss of some sort, but I don't want you to get scared, because both of these ending cards are so freaking positive. You got the Sun here. right? The sun is telling you you're going in the right direction. Things have to get worse before they get better. There will be some loss. But you're someone I feel maybe spiritual. You may be spiritually connected. And so you did take some time to learn, to understand your spiritual journey. You are being inspired through this time. And that loss that you're experiencing is just, it's like you ripping away the mess. You're pulling, it's, how pumpkins, think about pumpkins. Like when you rip all the guts out and you want the pumpkin seeds, you gotta really sift through all those guts to get those seeds out. And then when you do get them and clean them and bake them, they are a delicious treat that you can enjoy all day long, or at least if you like pumpkin seeds. So it's kind of like that. Like the middle of your story is a lot of the ripping away, a lot of the cleaning, a lot of the loss. It's getting rid of the hurt, getting rid of the things that have caused the hurt. But that in itself is going to cause some hurt, unfortunately. It's not going to be an easy process at all for you, but you do come out confident, powerful, inspired, a leader. You come out on top of this situation. And since this is concerning love, this could be romantic, this could be friendship, this could be a family love, this could be self-love. But either way, after you get rid of all that dirty muck, you're going to take some time to learn and understand and recognize what the stuff that needs to be removed is. Then you're going to do it, and that's going to be a little bit tough, but you are going to get through it. And when you do, you are going to be on top, powerful, shine. The sun is going to be shining on you. You're going to be a leader. You're going to have confidence. You're going to be just a boss, okay? And that is beautiful. I do wish you all the best in 2020. Pile number 3, thank you so much for being here. Please let me know what you think of these readings. Let me know if it resonates for you by the end of the year. You can watch this anytime. Like and subscribe, please. And I will see you guys in your 2020 forecast reading, which should come up later this week. And then I'll see you next year. Remember always, always, always that I love you. Bye.